Well, you mentioned Farmers Insurance is where you and I connected. And so my first job out of college, I was an underwriter answering the phones, 50, 60, 70 calls a day. And many have heard me tell this story, so forgive the overlap if you have. But ultimately, people weren't calling me because they love them some me or they wanted to connect. They were calling because they had a problem and I was the face of said problem. So knowing that that experience was very monotonous and mundane and dark at times because nobody was ever in a good mood, I would always be challenged to come up with unique ways to answer the phones, just to create what I didn't know at the time, but what I call now a brain pattern interrupt. How do I challenge people's expectations? How do I get them out of their head and into the moment? And so I'd be like, it's a wonderful Wednesday here at Farmers Insurance. How can I make your day wonderful too? And some people would laugh and others would say things like, well, I'm glad that you're having a good day because I'm certainly not. And I love talking to folks like that, Chad, because when I hit them with I'm terribly sad to hear you're having such a bad day here. I take great pride here at Farmers Insurance at lifting people up a little closer to where I am when we get off the call than when we first started. So how could I go about bringing a smile to your day? And what typically would happen would be dead silence. They would try to capture their thoughts because, of course, brain pattern interrupt. They weren't expecting that. And they would oftentimes respond with something to the extent of it's not you that I'm mad at. And so I would just carry this spirit with me, this energy, this enthusiasm that, to answer your question, I probably got from watching a lot of leaders who I wanted to be like and emulate. Rod, the God with the bod, Rod Johnson, like we called him in the streets back in the day, is one of them. Mentor in my life, one of my favorite people on the planet. I learned a lot of who I wanted to be from Rod Johnson. I learned a lot of who I didn't want to be from observing my father and his behaviors on a regular basis. So I think that if you're present and you take the good and the bad from all the individuals with whom we connect, then maybe, just maybe, you'll be well equipped to make a difference in whatever the heck you do. And so I carried that spirit with me on the phones and ultimately got promoted into a training role and then a training manager and then a supervisory role. And then my career culminated as a director of contact center operations for Farmers Insurance. But what I found is I was getting results that people around me were not. And I didn't understand why, but I kept getting promoted as a result of it. And when I taught these very specific or tactical techniques that could be implemented by anyone, people started to get better results. And simply put, at the most basic level, if you focus on a deliberate connection to all that you do, whether it's the present, whether it's others or yourself, then all the struggles, all the roadblocks, all the KPIs that are stuck in your head, all the difficult discussions that you have with customers, the profit loss, all that stuff, it starts to dissipate and work itself out because you're focused on the things that are within your control. How to connect to the present, how to connect to others, and how to connect with perhaps one of the most important things or people that you can connect with is yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot there, and you and I have I have an insane belief that I'm aligned with a lot of the things that you said. Let me go back. Do you still connect with Rod? I haven't connected with him for, God, it's been 5 or 6 years. Do you still talk to him?
Heck yeah, my boy just announced his retirement. He's going to be retiring, I think, either at the end of this year or early next year, something like that. So I'm super excited for him. Dude has worked hard. He's put in the hours, but more importantly, he's put in the heart and the energy to connect and help individuals grow like me.